This is the truth about men. I am Kieren, this is Marianiki, and today's episode is about how a woman can make a man feel safe when labeling a relationship. Now, the reason why this is really important is because loads of men feel pressured by women at various points in order to get into some form of relationship with them. You know, like, when are we going to get married, for instance? Or what is this really? What is going on with me and you? How do we actually label this thing? And it causes fear and it causes some insecurity. And one of the major reasons why, like say with the guys that I work with, is that it can feel like a cage in a prison. Really? Like an ideal relationship would be one where it's you two are together and you become stronger as a result of being together, but you're able to grow and to breathe and to be. Mm-hmm. But it actually can feel like you know? There's a phrase that men in the UK have to describe their wives, which is called the ball and chain. So literally in the UK, the average man on the street historically refers to his wife as like a massive weight that he has to drag around, the ball and chain. And it's said as a joke. It's like, oh yeah, the ball and chain, the ball and chain. But behind every joke, there's a kernel of truth.
You went like 10 steps ahead. We talk about establishing a relationship. You talk about marriage.
No, I'm saying that the fact that men refer to their wives as the ball and chain gives you an idea about how many men, at least in the UK anyway, see being in a relationship. Because if they felt that being in a relationship was this liberating thing, your wife wouldn't be the ball and chain. Or like they'll call their girlfriend the boss. I'll run it by the boss.
They call her Miss as well. That's good.
Call her what?
Mrs. Mrs?
Mrs?
Come on.
No, you've lost me.
Some men call their wife bull and chain, whatever.
Ball and chain.
Yeah. And some mother call her Mrs. My Mrs.
I guess, but what meaning are you taking from that?
I'm just spreading the other side of the same coin. That some men... Oh, anyway, I don't know.
But yeah, but my point is, so the question is, how is a woman going to make a man feel comfortable labeling a relationship? And what I'm doing is I'm establishing why that's actually important, because many men, tons of men, feel trapped to some degree in relationships or pressurized, which is kind of the point I'm getting at.
Okay, but again, you are ahead. We're talking about the difficult conversation about what are we. But you're talking about the time when people are already in a relationship and they feel the woman like a weight.
Yes, but what I'm kind of getting at is the fact that that mindset exists. It's indicative of the fact that a lot of men find it hard to commit to being in relationships because they don't necessarily think that what they're going to get into is going to be fun.
Right. Okay.
It's kind of what. Yeah. So, I mean, what do you think? How do you normally approach those situations?
Well, personally, I'm very straightforward.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
It's true.
So,
to the point.
To the point, exactly.
Point.
So I'm just talking to him, but then when I had this guy who I was talking to you about effort and stuff like this, you told me people are busy or they put effort based on how much interest are in you. So before I have this conversation, I also see how he behaves, how much committed he is. So if somebody is dilly-dallying and, you know, he's not consistent and all the stuff, I'm not going to tell him, what are we? Because I've got my answer from his behavior.
I've noticed that women don't like to have any kind of ambiguity in their relationships with men.
What's ambiguity?
Like not being sure what something is. And when I say relationships with men, I don't just mean sexual relationships. I mean in terms of like knowing a man. So, for instance, women love to categorize men. So this man is a friend. This man is just a friend, or go away with this man, or I'm interested in this man. Like love to have like nice. Really? How many men do you know who, let's say you haven't slept with them and you don't really know what's going on, but you're open to the possibility of sleeping with them at some point, even though it's never actually happened and there's no kind of remote sexual tinge in your relationship? you normally categorize them as like, this man's a friend.
No.
Really?
If I date somebody, he can't be my friend. Even though I may call him friend, because I don't know what else word to work in to say in English. The fact that we dated, it means that somehow we fancy each other.
What about men
So we
you
can't be
haven't
friends.
dated?
Yeah, then we're friends.
Okay, so like this is my point. So a man you haven't dated, right? He's just a friend, yeah.
Yeah.
But most men aren't that rigid. So you meet a man and you're not friends, blah. So you haven't dated and you're friends, whatever. At some point you're like, yeah, me and him, we're friends. That is it, we're friends. And you do go, we're friends. And you make that kind of categorization.
Okay, so for the man is more open.
It's
I
way
guess.
much more open.
Really?
Yeah. And that's why I'm bringing this up.
Okay.
Yeah. Women love to categorize a relationship with a man.
It's not categorized.
Yeah. Okay, look. This is what I'm
It's
getting.
about how you see somebody. Go on. Okay.
Well, okay, so the point I'm making is something that men are quite comfortable with is ambiguity. Like, you know what? I don't know if anything's going to happen with her. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Women like to know what the situation is with a man. So it's like, this man is a friend. He's never going to get anywhere near my vagina ever. This man is a friend. I'm interested and like, and like the reason why men get like frustrated about the friend zone is because it's literally like you're in the friend zone. I've placed you behind the bars of the friend zone. I've closed the door and the door is locked and you're never getting through that door. That's something that women kind of like to do. And the point I'm kind of making is, for instance, I remember you once telling me about a man. You're like, he is friend. And you're like, he's like, no, he is friend. I'm like, there you go. That's the mentality, right? He's like, this man is in my zone of friendship. He is never coming out ever. Now, the point I'm making is something I have noticed is that, yeah, like if you hear a woman talk about a man who's a friend, she'll go, oh, he's just a friend. No, don't worry, he's just a friend. And there's a certain smile that women have in their faces when they say that a man is just a friend. It's like, it's like one thing to be like, yeah, he's a friend. But why does letting someone know that he's just a friend? Like, why is that pleasurable? Pleasurable to let someone know that you're not fucking this guy. It's like, I don't know, well, I guess there's elements of not looking like
Okay, but the episode is about different topics.
I know, I'm getting to it.
Okay.
I'm getting to it. You have to give me a chance.
Okay.
What I'm basically saying is,
To the point.
right, so the point is, I believe women like to categorize a relationship. And when a woman is with a man and they're in like some kind of sexual relationship, but it isn't set in stone, it's not like we are this, we are that. That is uncomfortable for a lot of women because they don't like the ambiguity. Just like you don't like the ambiguity of not knowing if you're going to fuck a guy or not. So you want to be like friend zone. You don't like the ambiguity of not knowing if you're going to marry a guy or not. Or not knowing if it's serious or not. You need to know what this is because I'm not comfortable unless I actually know what the hell is going on. That's basically what I'm saying. And I think that's where it goes because men are more comfortable with the ambiguity. Women aren't comfortable with the ambiguity. So women need to have a firm decision made. But then in doing that, I believe women can make men feel uncomfortable because the men will be... I mean, I've never had a woman beg me to be in a relationship, but I have had a woman beg me to marry her and that wasn't comfortable at all.
But that's a problem. That we cannot beg people to do something. I feel like when you feel that something is off, something is off. If a man makes us, and I mean, I give this opinion now because I'm not emotionally involved. It's based on my logic. If we feel that we don't know what is going on and something is off, then something is off.
Okay, but is that answering the question of how a woman can make a man feel comfortable?
Why would they try to do that if something is off? Probably not the right man.
But really and truly,
I mean, if I date somebody and I wonder all the time if he's into me, why would I try to make him comfortable?
No. You're making him comfortable in the act of acting, in the act of asking what the relationship is. So basically, it's like this.
The relationship is not existent because he's not that into me.
Okay. But so we're clear, I think this situation right here could very well, or this question right here could very well go with situations where you guys are basically in a relationship, except no one said it, and the woman just needs to hear it.
Okay, that's different. Okay, that's a different story.
So
we do everything that couples do, but we haven't established.
I mean, it could be anything along a continuum, but basically the question is, a woman wants to know what the situation is and how does she make the man feel comfortable.
To be honest, I had dated somebody and I had asked him, what are you looking for? Let's see if we want the same thing. And he told me, for me, relationship is we dating, we spend time together, we do things together, and this naturally becomes a relationship. And this was so confusing to me. I told him, we cannot go this way because it needs to be said. We need to set boundaries. Because if we don't say we're in a relationship, it means that anytime you can date somebody else. But at this point, he was very into me as well. So he told me, okay, I get your point. If we decide to be in a relationship, it's gonna be said. Is what you meant?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, basically. But here's the thing, I mean, I don't think there's any magic words a woman can say, really. I mean, outside of just saying, like, so I would just like to know where you're at and what you're thinking and how you think this is going. Outside of it, we see, fundamentally, you see your reaction. I fundamentally agree because basically it's kind of like this. It's like, if he is really into you, he's gonna at some point ask you himself. I mean, more or less is. And really and truly, even if he doesn't, I mean, at some point you're gonna reach a point where it's just obvious you guys are together. Like it just is. And it's, I don't know, like, how badly do you need to have the label? So for instance, you're seeing this guy. If you're seeing him and you're not getting what you want and you want more connection, that's something else. But if you're just seeing the guy and it's going well and it's going great, but for some reason you need to have the label, well,
oh please don't use the word labels.
But that's what it is.
Because put labels, go with the flow, and all this bullshit, I just cannot take it. There is no flow. The flow goes nowhere. The flow goes nowhere and everywhere. If you have a destination and we date, we see compatibility, and at some point we're like, okay, cool. Do we have good time? Would we like to go further?
Okay, so how do you make him comfortable in the act of asking him that?
Is it wrong?
I'm asking you how you make the man comfortable. That's the question.
You know something? I care about my clarity as well.
Your what?
My clarity.
Oh.
And does he care if I am comfortable?
You get
like,
angry.
Because why do women have to always work about men to be comfortable? Having me in this situation.
Okay, let me just start you for a second, right?
And dating me and having me wonder, do I feel comfortable?
Okay, let me just say for a second, right? The work I do coaching men is all about making women feel comfortable. You wouldn't believe the amount of work men have to do to make a woman feel comfortable. To be sexy but not creepy. To be friendly.
Okay, but
boring.
we talk about the situation.
Yes, that I know.
This is quite generic. We're talking about this situation specifically.
All right, but basically, like, the point is, I don't think we know, do we? I don't think there's a magic phrase.
From my perspective, the woman, of course, needs to make sure that it's not gonna be too hard or anything. But also, the man needs to consider if she's comfortable.
Well, you know, fundamentally, it's kind of like this, right?
And if he doesn't consider it, probably he's not the right man.
This is what I'll say. Fundamentally, it's kind of like this. How comfortable is that woman within herself? Because you know, we speak about like, oh, is he the right man for you and blah, blah, blah. And all that, you know, it's all very valid stuff. Fundamentally, is this woman comfortable within herself? Like, does she need this relationship to fill some kind of void within herself? Or what? Is she just asking because she kind of wants to know and there's something that she wants? Or is there some lack that she has and she feels like if she can get him to be in this relationship, that lack will be fulfilled? Why is she actually trying to get resolution to the whole idea of what relationship is? And I guess what I'm getting at is, if she's right within herself as she's actually talking to the guy, she's going to give off a different energy than a woman who is needy.
100%.
Yeah, there you go. So don't be needy. And with that, we need to end it because we're running out of studio time. But follow her on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I'm doing
her journey.
And I'm documenting my journey now, going back to the gym after a bit eating disorder recovery.
And I'm very proud of you.
Thank you so much. I don't have before and after photos. It's just about how it is to go to the gym, your feelings when you're out of shape, when you feel judged, even though possibly you are not, but this is what you feel. The struggle, the pain, what I eat, some meditation. Yeah, the link is there. Maybe you can go and check it by yourself. But
definitely check it. Okay. And read my book, Preeta's Web of Chaos. I got a new book called Start a Revolution that's coming out soon. Thank you. Goodbye. See you later. Take care. Au revoir. So guess what? I want to interrupt this video to let you know that I'm also an author. I'm not just a dating coach, but I'm also an author too. And I've written a book that I spent a ton of time working on. It is called Preeta's Web of Chaos, and it is a young girl's journey of transformation. Now, what happens is that she encounters some situations that are really hard for her to deal with. They scare her, they terrify her, they push her outside of her comfort zone. And as a result of dealing with these hardships, she learns to find a strength, a resilience, a courageousness, and a power inside her that she did not know actually existed. Like I said, I tried really hard with this book, and the reason why I write it is because I wrote it is because I love to write stories. It's the main thing that I want to do, and I just want to share my passion with the world. So if you could find it in your heart to give it a try, there's a link in the description. I'll just love you for life.